and welcome to another episode of The World's Wackiest Hobbies. I'm your host, Jen Cozzette, and today we will be interviewing Cozzette Yt. He'll share with us his unique and wacky hobby. Stay tuned as we'll be right back with Craz in just a few moments. And now we're back with our special guest, Cozzette Yt. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely. So we understand you have a wacky hobby. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, yeah, it's a pretty awesome hobby, really. You see, I have this really big van that I like to call the Super Mega Van. And what I do is I travel around looking for really big things that I can try to fit into my van.
Well, that does sound like a pretty wacky hobby. And how long have you been doing it for?
Oh, I've been doing it since I was about this big.
Oh, wow. Well, you must have some pretty great experiences then. Why don't you tell us about some of the things you've experienced during your travels?
Okay, well, here are a few things I've been able to fit into my Super Mega Van. A giant hamburger, the world's largest whoopee cushion, the largest Barbie collection, tallest living dog, this dude with a crazy big mohawk, tallest living man.
Wait, hold on. Let's just slow down for a minute and focus on one thing at a time. Did you just say the tallest living man? What was it like meeting him?
Oh, well, yeah, meeting the tallest living man was so cool. He's over 8 feet tall and had to crouch down to keep from hitting his head on my ceiling. But once he got in, we drove around without any problems.
Wow, what an experience that must have been. Well, we're going to take another short break, and when we come back, we'll be asking Craz one last question. So stay tuned. And now we're back. To wrap up this interview, we'd like to ask you one last question, Craz.
Alrighty.
So clearly you have experienced some amazing things because of your hobby. But do you have any future goals? For instance, is there something specific you want to try to fit into your van?
Yeah, I actually do. I've always driven past the world's largest ball of yarn and thought, oh my gosh, the world's biggest ball of yarn. I'd love to drive around with that in my van, but sadly it's too large to fit in Super Mega Van. So I guess that my future goal is to get an even bigger Super Mega Van.
That sounds like a very exciting goal. We'd love to see a picture of it when that day comes. Well, it looks like we are out of time, so thank you so much for joining us today, Cozzette Yt.
Thank you for having me.
And that wraps up this episode of The World's Wackiest Hobbies. We hope that you will join us again for next week's episode. Until that time, stay wacky.